there are more players and more players and more players. Sorry, and more players and more players and players and players and players. How do you see this that didgeridoo is evolving and evolving and evolving and evolving in more players? Como decimos en español, salen tocadores debajo de las piedras.
Bueno, supongo que es la verdad, ¿no? And a lot of people come to me and they say to me, "Oh, I love the way you play the traditional way," because I think they consider it to be traditional. That I play a lot with the circular breathing and the fundamental drone as the foundation of a lot of my music. Mm-hmm. As opposed to the broken up kind of whatever the beatbox style or whatever style it is. I how do I see the evolution? I think it's extraordinary. As I was saying, I think that obviously that style or those styles, because there are as many variations in style as there are players that play. I think we've established that. I'm interested in hearing each person's voice, their own true voice when they play. I'm not really interested in the didgeridoo as a paint it by numbers construction of an intellectual or a superficial way to play tricks. I'm not interested in the didgeridoo as something you play tricks on, musical tricks. But I do think it's extraordinary, the language, the variations in language and sound and possibility that have evolved over all of those last 40 years. My first album, didgeridoo album, came out in 1988, but I'd been playing for 6 years before that. I'd been evolving my style for about 6 years before 88, in learning my craft before I came into the public world with it in recordings. But I don't know what to say. There are a lot of people copying other people, maybe trying to do cover versions of other people's sounds. But there are still many who are creating new things and new voices with the didgeridoo as they go. I welcome new variation. I mentioned William Barton before, who is a phenomenon on the didgeridoo, but I'm not sure how well known he is in the hipster realm of contemporary didgeridoo playing, because he plays almost exclusively with classical, orchestral and classical musical scenarios. But he is a traditional Aboriginal man from Queensland, whose mother was an opera singer. And William Barton is a very powerful voice in the contemporary world, using the didgeridoo in a very different context to all of those who are playing in the more, whatever you call it, rock, dance music, popular forms of music. And the didgeridoo, I hope that the message that comes across from me is that my interest is how the didgeridoo can work with other instruments and with other kind of musical cultures outside of this in spite of the fact that the didgeridoo scene is very self-perpetuating. A lot of people are interested in nothing but the didgeridoo. I'm interested in how we meet other people. I'm interested in meeting extraterrestrials and finding common language with the didgeridoo and extraterrestrial beings.
Ya dijeron que sí.
Claro. I played long ago in Italy, I played with trees and was recorded playing a concert together with a tree in Zamenhof, northern Italia. I'm interested in cross-species communications with this instrument. I think it's got that possibility. We can have conversations in all directions. Music, in terms of playing with other creatures. I hear the dogs have been speaking a lot to us during this conversation here.
Yeah,
But
they're
that's what
chasing.
interests me.
They're chasing a cat. Phil.
But yeah, I think the didgeridoo is magnificent. I think the evolution has been extraordinary over this 40 years. I'm very curious to see where it leads in the next 10, 15, 20 years. Let's see.
You now you have to experience tango, cumbia, Mexican
Cumbia and
music,
tango. Mm-hmm.
cumbia, tango, son cubano, cumbia colombiana, cumbia tradicional
Lo sé,
colombiana, los
lo
ritmos
sé la música de
latinoamericanos.
Colombia. Es que hace mucho tiempo yo tenía un programa, estaba DJ de un programa de radio aquí,
Ajá.
bueno, en San Francisco, y la música fue, bueno, yo tenía dos programas para muchos años, y cada uno era una exploración de música del mundo, de diferentes tipos, y cumbia y música de Argentina y muchas partes, menos en América Central, porque había mucha gente que conoce muchísimo más que yo sobre las músicas de los tribus y otras partes de América Central y Latinoamericano también. Había mucha gente que lo saben mucho mejor, mucho más que yo, pero mis programas eran exploraciones de música del mundo. Por eso encontraba um, conmigo muchos diferentes tipos de música durante los años que estaba trabajando aquí
No,
hace.
no, you are like very. I don't know how, no sé cómo decirlo. I don't know how to say it, but
It's okay. No es
no
necesario.
words to express. No words to express. Not even in Spanish. I don't know what to say. Not even in Spanish, because it's like mind blowing. Like mind blowing. Lots of knowledge. Lots of not only of didgeridoo music. How many instruments? You say the French horn, guitar, bass. How many instruments do you play? Your
Well, it's
didgeridoo.
interesting. The didgeridoo was really the last instrument that I came to. I grew up playing French horn, but I had a band that I played guitar. Guitar was my main thing. I did the classical music that my parents loved, and I was influenced to play classical and learn classical music on one hand, and then on the other, as a teenager, I didn't want to play rock and roll so much, but I wanted to play electric guitar, and I began playing guitar. And then that led me to playing percussion, a lot of percussion, and yes, some bass. But in recent times, I played in the band Transmission, for example, I play a lot of cello, but I play it more like a bass guitar, where I play, the strings. I have the cello around my neck like a bass guitar, and I'm playing in that form because I love the sound of the cello played like that.
Okay.
But I did a lot of vocals for a while. No, my life has been with music for a very long time. Music is I breathe and live music forever.
Yes, your heart is like in 140 BPM, tum 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 tum, always very on tune.
Well,
Your pure music. You are pure music, no?
well, thank you. I it's like I say, my life has been very busy with music for a very long time. So it's been nice to have a period of time where I'm just going, okay, just breathe for a little while and explore other parts of the world and other creations of different cultures and different climates, and take a breath before my next project. So that's where I'm at now. I'm
El
about.
sabático.
Sí, exactly. Thank you so much for talking with me.
Mr. Kent. Last words for all the Didgeridoo community that you want to say in Spanish, in English, or just Spanish, just English, or
bueno, yo pienso que lo he dicho, pero lo que pienso más y creo más en la manera que se puede seguir con el didgeridoo en su propia vida, y es que busca su verdad con el instrumento, busca lo que se puede decir que es absolutamente de su propio alma con el didgeridoo, y vas a crecer y embrasar un otro tipo de felicidad y satisfacción dentro de su corazón. Se puede encontrar su propia voz con el didgeridoo. Toma las influencias de todo que hay, no solamente el hombre o la mujer que se puede hacer un ritmo fantástico que te gusta muchísimo por el didgeridoo, pero buscar su propio manera de ir adelante con el didgeridoo. Y está, nada más.
Thank you very much. Muchísimas gracias, Jonathan Antonio Martínez Machine and Stephen Kent.
Adiós, nos veremos. Chao.